Hi everyone,
Hey, welcome.
I'm Gabor,
I'm Alex.
and this is the Super Fun Awesome Happy Time pedal show.
That it
And
is.
today we have...
Hey, this is one of the 4-button Line 6 series. This is the AM-4.
the AM-4, the Amp Modeler,
Modeler.
which I think probably is one of the ones that copped the most abuse because it's digital amp modeling, and especially in those days, people weren't quite into it, and, you know, when it first came out, sort of early 2000s. Let's check it out. So it's part of our 4-button series videos. You can watch some more here.
Over there.
Yes. Give us some clean sound.
Sure.
We're going into the Seritone OTS Mini 20, into the front of it with a little bit of Zoom Studio 1201 reverb in the... Just something from maybe similar era, a bit older. It's probably a bit older than that. For reverb. Later on we might try the same thing, but going into the power amp. But we'll see. Let's just start in the front end for now. So...
See how we like it.
see how we like it. So first up, hang on, so we'll go through the whole, there's all the, basically same as with all the Line 6 4-button stuff. This is your Rotary Encoder where you can find the different sounds. So there's all the different amp sounds, which is, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 by the looks of it. And then you have these, in this case, it's mostly always drive, bass, mids and treble and volume, and there's a gate on there as well, but whatever the gate is set to, if the gate is set to something, that's what it's set to, and that's what it will stay set at. So we were starting off with, and if I push this, I got to move it back to there because all the presets, they're different presets. So we're just moving it to where it was just then. This is D, and I'll get this out because I think it's much easier to read.
Yes.
The first setting is called Tiny Tweed. It's based on a 1961 Fender Champ, and once again, how Line 6 gets away with putting a picture of a Fender Champ amp there and calling it a Fender Champ, I have no idea, but anyway. Cool. So this is modeled after a 61 Fender Tweed Champ. This model has a great sound when a drive is cranked. Low power amps were originally designed to be sold to beginners. These low power amps, not power amps, but low power amps.
Yep.
Were originally designed to be sold to beginners, but rock and rollers quickly discovered that they were just the thing to get a great distorted sound at fairly low volume levels. The Champ had no tone control, only volume. With the AM-4, it's easy to get classic tone, just leave bass, mids and treble controls parked at 12 o'clock, meaning they're flat. Okay, well,
Let's start there.
start there and go from there.
It's a great old rock and roll tone, isn't it?
It sounds good.
I think we were talking before. I'm pretty sure. Correct us if we're wrong in the comments, but
Oh, they will. Oh, they will.
I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure this was the early Clapton tones up there. This actual pedal. No, the Champ was the
Yeah, in the 60s, he used the
digital model.
digital modeler for Cream, like back in the Cream days. They were all direct in. Amps were just...
Yeah, amp farm over. And it kind of has that tone. It's probably more blues breaker, Marshall thing. But yeah, that kind of 60s rock and roll recording tones were often little Tweed amps like this.
Hence what they said.
See? Backing me up.
Do you want to play a bit more?
Sure.
Good sound. Let's turn the reverb down a smidge.
Maybe we need to get a champ in the studio.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay, next. Next is the small Tweed, which is based on a 1953 Fender Deluxe, modeled after the 1953 wide panel Fender Tweed Deluxe. This model will snarl with the best of them. Neil Young has been using Deluxes for years to craft his aggressive organic sound. The Deluxe has one single tone controller, essentially a treble roll-off. AM-4's treble knob mimics the Deluxe's role when using this model. Bass and mid give you extra versatility in tone tweaking. You can turn them to 12 o'clock to stick with the more classic Tweed sounds.
Okay, so bass mid 12 o'clock to start with, and
It's a more of a roll-off.
okay.
Treble roll-off.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like the other one better, but yeah.
It's fairly. Has that like dirty, slightly angry thing going on.
Well, they both have that thing where it sounds like the amp is struggling because that's what it's meant to be like. You know, you turn a drive up. They didn't have drive. It was just you crank it and the tubes worked, and it gives that. It has that angry tone. Let me have a quick go, and then we'll move on to the next one because we've got to be quick. As much Neil Young as I know. All right, next. Okay, the Tweed 4x10 based on the 59 Fender Bassman, classic 58 Ben. Okay, it's based on the 59 Fender Bassman. The classic 58 Fender Bassman 4x10 combo was the amp that started it all. Instant rock and roll tone. Originally a bass guitar amp, Bassman became a blues staple for 6-string guitarists. As a fat bottom end you'd expect from a bass amp, but also the Fender twang on the top.
Right.
The Bassman, like many other amps we modeled, didn't have master volumes to get this kind of tone that the Bassman can deliver at high gain settings. You had to crank it up loud enough, blah, 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 blah. This model with drive set to about 4 or 5 is guaranteed to dredge up the best R&B licks you know.
Ooh, dredge maybe.
We'll go for it.
We change it?
I check. Drive to about 4 or 5.
6 it is.
Okay. The dog.
I do like Bassmans in all sorts of varieties.
Let me have a go.
Have a twang.
And you can hear it. It does sound like a bigger amp all of a sudden. Like the others had that sort of smaller, boxy feel, whereas this it starts to sound bigger. Next.
R&B your heart out.
Oh, yeah. It's R&B car. Right. Yeah. Okay, next, Blackface 112, based on the 64 Fender Deluxe Reverb, the holy grail for many blues, country, and roots players. It's been a Blackface Fender Deluxe Reverb tweaked up right. The tone will cut through and sing. When driven hard, Deluxes give a gritty sound that cleans up nicely as you back off on the guitar's volume just a little. You get the same kind of thing by setting the drive knob high when using this model. Notice the way tone varies with the drive settings. Highs are crisp and present with low drive settings, then mellow a bit as you increase the drive. The Deluxe itself had only bass and treble controls. With the AM-4, with the AM-4's mids, you get added versatility for tweaking your tone. You can set the mid knob at 12 o'clock if you want to stick with the classic Deluxe sound.
Right on. So metal.
Total metal.
Yeah, it definitely has that 1x12 scoopy kind of thing going on.
Oh, okay, so that was a Blackface 1x12. Now we're going to Blackface 2x12.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Fender Twin Reverb.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't know if it comes through really on YouTube, but the amps sound bigger. Like it sounds like a bigger amp with more power than the other ones did. This one now. Next, Class A15. So the Class A15 is based on a 1960 Vox AC15.
Yep.
This is the one speaker version of the AC30. Like it's similar but smaller amp, one instead of two speakers, with warmer, more woody sound. Once again, the original amp had one single tone control treble cut. We faithfully modeled that and then slipped in some post-model bass and mid contouring. Set the bass and mid at 12 o'clock. If you want the vintage thing, blah, 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 blah. And then an AC30.
Definitely mid-range.
Super mid-range.
Thing going on.
Oh yeah, next.
Next.
Match Chief. Based on a 1996 matchless chieftain. The chieftain was designed by Mark Sampson at Matchless to blend a femme the martial type front end with classically spongy, very reactive Class A power end section. Mark's design makes Chieftain a great roots music amp. It's also got a light up front logo plate, which may not affect tone, but it sure does look cool. Don't I say that? Always. If the logo lights up, doesn't matter what it sounds like, it's good. That's always the Match Chief. That was always on the pod. That's my favorite amp emulation. That's the one I usually tend to use.
Do you want to have a go?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Big sounding amp.
Sweet.
Next, the Zen Master.
Ooh.
Based on a 2000 Buddha Twin Master. This model is based on a Buddha Twin Master 2x12 combo. The Buddha has great warm class AB sound. Focused on power tube distortion with relatively low front end gain, highly interactive tone controls, and plenty of tube rectifier sag. The Twin Master gives you classic cranked sounds for small gigs and recordings. It's all of 18 watts. Since the Twin Master has no mid control, the AM-4's mid is an extra bonus. Set it to 12 o'clock to get extra groovy with the unadorned Buddha style vibe, or set it anywhere else to expand your tonal philosophy beyond traditional limits.
I'm going to not play that note. Fuzzy.
Very fuzzy, in fact. Next, cool. Plexi 45.
I know.
65 Marshall JTM 45. It's based on a 65 block logo JTM 45 head, complete with a gold plexiglass front panel. Flannel. When our amp hunters in the UK found this particular amp, we instantly fell in love. This baby has the original KT66s in it and is still in great shape. It's one of the finest examples of a JTM 45 we've ever heard. Because the tone control of a JTM 45 operates before the preamp tubes, they have increasingly little effect as you crank up the amp and distort the preamp. The AM-4's model operates the same way, so you can crank up the drive, and you find that you really have to get extreme with the tone controls to make an impact on the sound. The Brit 800 model coming up is a hit parade featuring post preamp tube tone. Is in our hit parade. Coming up in our hit parade. Features post-preamp tube controls for increased tone control at high drive settings. Okie dokie then.
Good.
Well, there you go.
I thought so.
isn't it Marshall thing? Everything on 10?
Not the highest.
Okay, next.
Next.
Plexi 50.
Cool.
The infamous Marshall small box Plexi blah blah blah, yeah, whatever. Fender 606 power tube heritage and moved to an EL34, blah 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 blah. For classic Plexi crunch sound, spin up this model, crank the drive max out the middle and treble, and set the bass somewhere at around 9 and 10 o'clock. Well, this is the all Marshall thing.
Okay.
Next, Brit 800s. So JCM 800, the master of the metal sound that made Marshall famous. Okay, one of the biggest differences versus the earlier Marshall amps is that the tone controls of the JCM 800 are located after the preamp tubes.
Okay.
Well, there you go. There you go. Done.
My eyeballs.
Actually, hang on. Next. Solo 100 based on a 95 Soldano SLO 100. Yeah. Eric Clapton put Soldano on the map when he played Saturday Night Live with his Soldano SLO 100.
Really?
There you go. Talking of...
Man, it's quite shrill.
Next.
Nailed it.
Rectified.
Ooh.
Let me guess what that is. Based on a 2001 Mesa Boogie dual rectifier Thick bone crushing distortion, high gain impact for typical scoop mid sound that can dial up AM-4's rectified model. Crank up the drive, turn down the mids, and chunk. Next, Insane, Line 6 original. Imagine running a Sordano as a preamp of your boogie dual rectifier and then got a pretty good picture of just how much sheer gain is involved in Line 6 Insane. Just crank it, jack in, crank up, take no prisoners. Okay.
I think that fret's broken.
Well done.
Thanks.
Okay. Tube preamp, last one, because we're almost out of time. Not even close to being a guitar amp, but once we got started, just couldn't blah 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 blah. Drive control lets you dial in the tone from subtle to warming, distort to rama. With the tone control at 12 o'clock, the EQ is flat. Turn the tone up to get a boost. The tone? Okay, tone controls at 12 o'clock. Okay, go. So, that's all the models going into the front of the amp. Should we, maybe not all of them, but try some of them into the effects loop?
We'll have a quick play and you can see a montage come up soon of the best of the best.
Gonna need a montage.
Yeah.
Okay, see you shortly.
Even Rocky had a montage.
Okay, and we're back. So now we're going guitars into the AM-4 because you needed the Zoom Studio 1201 for a little bit of reverberization. And then from there into the effects return of the amp, therefore bypassing the preamp section of the amp, just going into the power amp and into the speakers and suchly. So using that as a preamp.
Yeah.
And it sounds suchly. That's just going straight into the power amp. So
That's pretty good, actually.
Hang on, now. That's the Fender Champ. Yes. Maybe let's not do every amp model, but what's another one you want to do? So the Tweed you liked, what's another one you like?
Let's go...
Bassman? 4x10?
Yeah. It's actually 1x10, I think.
No, I think that's meant to be a 4. That's a 4, yeah. It's
Oh, it's a 4?
scratched out.
It's like some gig love on it. Gig juice.
That's one of the things I always thought about, like the Zoom stuff as well. If you, one of the things that kind of lets it down in some ways is like with the pod is a cab simulation. So if you run the pod, we've done a video. Actually, you can watch the video here. We've done a video of him, me trying to convince him, and it sort of worked. He kind of liked it in the end.
Yeah. Using
the pod with a 2 notes torpedo cab cabinet emulator. The cabinet emulator kind of makes it work. And I think with this as well, one of the things that people did was they plugged it into their Marshall and went, oh man, it doesn't sound like a Fender, because it won't. Plug it into the power amp, like into the effects return, and then it's much more likely to sound like
ABC,
that style of amp.
Yeah.
So
I've just dialed up the AC-15. Give that a swing.
sounds great.
Has that mid-rangey kind of poke.
Let me have a go at the Match Chief. Holy moly, that's loud. I can't always have a thing for that matchless kind of sound. Which one should we try? What about the Plexi 45?
Sure.
Turn the volume down. Let's try a couple more. What should we try?
Let's go, mate. Let's go.
Red 100, mate.
this whole unit's a bit on the bright side.
A lot of times I think when you run into it's old and stuff. A lot of times I think if you run into power amps, it can be things can be a bit brighter.
Yeah, even in the front end is a bit
bright.
Yeah, it's just my thing.
What is that? Insane. Give me the rectifier just to see what that's. Oh ho!
Nice.
Cool. So I mean, we could go through a lot more of them, but you get the idea. I think, for me personally, this sort of thing, I might actually do a quick video. If you can see, Alex is behind a dog. I might do a quick video at my place of this going into something like this going into something like the two-note torpedo cab.
Yeah.
Where you go, because that's got power amp emulation as well.
I think it does need some mellowing out. For
Yeah.
me, it's just a bit too harsh on the harsh side. All the other 4-button stuff, I like. Even the distortion one had some really cool stuff on it. And the, stuff. It's good.
Well, this is the slightly, like I said, slightly black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
So, but I still think it's pretty cool. So, yes, if you want us to, I don't know, do something else with this, let us know. Leave it in the comments below. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel. That's very important. We should always say that at the start of the show, and we always forget about it.
Yeah, click the notification bell too, because
yes,
that sends you a notification when we put a new video up, and you can check it out then. Also, there's links below to our podcast.
Yes, well, we're most likely going to be talking about this very pedal.
Cool. Hey, Daisy. And
yeah, and on that note, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. There's, what else is there? There's the FM-4 and the DL-4. That's it, isn't it?
So far.
That's all the ones we've done. Someone said to do the looper as well, that the
Yeah, come on.
LP4 or whatever it is.
What was the looper one?
There's a looper one, but
Ah.
I don't know, I never got along with that, and it's a little bit different, and
Does it smell good?
you know, do a video on a looper. Yeah.
Boring.
So yeah, stay tuned for the FM4 and the DL4. Check the other ones. There would have been cards coming up here during the video. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.